Okay, we have 2 side panels and 2 bottom panels. We've reached the stitching stage of stitch and glue construction. We're going to wire the hull panels together, and in about an hour, we'll have something convincingly boat-like. The excitement starts with the bottom panels. I've chucked a 1/16 inch drill bit into my cordless drill, and I'm going to drill holes around the periphery of the panels so that we can lace them together with copper wire. The exact spacing of the holes isn't critical. You want them about 3/8 of an inch in from the edge and on 4-inch centers. If you want to be neat about it, scribe a line with your tri-square and make a mark for each hole. You can see I have the bottom panels stacked one atop the other. This ensures symmetry, and it saves a lot of time because I can drill them together. There, that's the bottom panels. Now we need to wire the panels together along the keel line with copper wire. That's the straighter of these 2 curves. Set the bottom panels aside for a moment and poke a couple of holes in the bow and stern of the side panels for a few wires. I've cut off some of this excess shear clamp stock to use as a spreader stick. The boat's supposed to be 23.5 inches wide. Doesn't have to be exact now, but it'll sure help put the bottom panels on. Look like a boat yet? We're getting there. We're ready to open the bottom panels like a book and set them down on the side panels. I've put a couple of sticks across the side panels so the bottom panels don't try to fall through onto the floor. I told you it was going to start looking like a boat. We're getting there. Align the bottom panels with the side panels at the bow. See how the curve of the bottom panels flows into the side panels. I'm going to wire all 4 panels together like this. Now, start drilling holes in the side panels to match the holes you've already drilled in the bottom panels. We'll be wiring from the bow to the stern, staying even on both sides so that the boat is the same length on both sides. Hey, cool, it's a boat. May have been wondering if this pile of wood would ever amount to anything, and here we are only a few hours into the project. We could flip the boat over now. It looks like a kayak, but it's rather flexible. Before we apply the epoxy, we want to prop the boat up and make sure that it's still and true. Take some of those leftover shear clamp pieces and clamp them on either side of the hull like this. Now, have a helper hold the boat up while you clamp the sticks to your sawhorses. You can see that the boat is quite stiff and steady this way. Time to fit the bulkheads. The plans show you where in the boat the bulkheads go. Don't be surprised if you need to trim on the bulkheads a little bit to make them fit well. This is true of all boats built without a mold. We have some little gaps here and there, but that will be completely filled later. A couple of wires like this will make the bulkhead stay put until the epoxy is done. In just a bit, we're going to mix up some epoxy and glue everything together. Now's our last chance to make sure everything is smooth and fair and looks just like we want it to when the boat's complete. Tighten all the wires and sight down the hull for humps or bumps. If you need to loosen some wires to take out a hollow, that's no big deal. The goal is a smooth hull, so before we mix glue, take all the time you need to square things up. With the hull cleaned up, wires tightened, and bulkheads in place, one last task remains, making sure the boat isn't twisted. A hull that's twisted like a corkscrew could potentially be a Viking funeral. Pay attention, this could be you. We use a trick called winding to make sure the hull is straight. First, measure 40 inches from the bow on both sides and 40 inches from the stern on both sides. Place 2 straight edges exactly on those marks. Now, stand at the end of the boat and sight the 2 straight edges. Are they both exactly parallel? If not, you'll need to adjust the clamps on your sticks a little bit. When both straight edges are exactly parallel, then the hull is true. Now it's time to put on our gloves and do the gluing part of stitch and glue construction.